Come on in, welcome to my crib. Welcome, boys and girls, to my kitchen. This is the first ever Learning to Cook with Miss Rogers. We are going to be cooking dinner tonight for the very first time. So as most of you know, I still live with my parents, which is great. It has its perks. One of those perks being that my mom loves to cook, and she cooks dinner just about every night. Well, I have a problem. I am 25 years old, and I don't know how to cook. So I've decided to take this time of us being out of school, doing e-learning, and I've decided to learn how to cook. So I have my recipe here for us. I have the servings, prep time, steps, ingredients. So I'm gonna follow this just as written, and we today are gonna learn how important it is to follow directions in sequential order. Or as like we say, sequence chronological, put the events in order. So we today are going to hopefully solve Miss Rogers' everlasting problem of not knowing how to cook, and we're gonna see how it goes. So you're probably wondering what we are going to be eating tonight. Well, we are making one of my favorites, spinach and sun-dried tomato Alfredo. So if I had to rate this on a scale of beginner to expert on the chopped level, I would definitely say this is beginner. I think Miss Rogers is going to do great with this, but first I'm going to show you my ingredients. My mom is judging me. Okay, so what you're going to need to make the spinach and sun-dried tomato Alfredo. First you'll need your favorite pasta, just one box, okay? We have the Healthy Harvest whole grain pasta this evening. Honestly, not my favorite, but beggars can't be choosers. So we're gonna go with the whole grain. You will also need 1 package of sun-dried tomatoes, 1 package of baby spinach, 1 pint of heavy whipping cream. As you can see, it's just the Publix brand. And then you're going to need 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. We are big fans of Locatelli. And then finally, you're going to need some olive oil for cooking. In addition to these ingredients, you're also going to need 1 cup, measuring cup, a spatula, a whisk, 1 large spoon, a wok, a wooden spoon. You're also going to need a pot of water. It's already on the stove. I'll show you. A pot of water. You'll see it's already in there. That's for your pasta. And then you also need a strainer for the pasta when it's ready. So this recipe makes about 6 servings. It's going to take us about 5 minutes to prep everything, which, you know, I just went through it all, and now it's time to cook. Okay, the first thing you are going to want to do is set your stovetop to a medium-low heat with your wok. So I went ahead and I set this side of the stove to about 6. I don't know how your stove is at home. And then you'd also want to start the other side on high heat to start boiling your water for the pasta. Okay, so now that our wok is warmed up, we are gonna go ahead and take some olive oil, just about a tablespoon. You're gonna just drizzle it. Like I said, I've never made this before, so I hope that's enough. Drizzle it around the wok just to cover it, and then you are going to put your sun-dried tomatoes in the wok. Okay, the next thing you'd like to do is take your baby spinach and dump it right on top. And again, you're just going to mix that around with your spatula until they become wilted and you really can't see them anymore. So when they're nice and cooked. Our spinach and sun-dried tomatoes are now cooked, so our next step is going to be to add the 1 pint of heavy whipping cream directly into the wok. And then we're going to bring the stovetop to a low simmer. And we're just going to mix this around a little bit as we add in our 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. I already have it measured out for us.
Not yet, not yet.
Okay, boys and girls, perfect learning opportunity right here. I am following the directions as stated, like I told you, given to me directly from my mom, and I do have an audience over in the kitchen right now, and apparently I'm not following directions correctly. So I actually have to bring the stove back up to a 6 medium heat to let the heavy cream thicken before I put in the Parmesan cheese. So again, this is why we call this segment Learning How to Cook with Miss Rogers, because we are learning together. Okay, so next up we are going to go ahead and put our whole grain, healthy harvest, ronzoni pasta, they're the rotini, the spirals, into our boiling pot of water. You want to get nice and close to the pot so you don't splash yourself with the hot water. Ooh, see, it just splashed me. You are going to turn down the heat just a little bit. I'd say between 4 and 6, so about 5. Next up, our Alfredo is ready for the cheese. So right as I put this cheese in, I'm going to lower my heat now down to a low simmer. Okay, so I would like to add that I did set a timer on the stove for my pasta. I'm using the Perfect Pasta Guide. Look at this text feature, this chart. So it goes by the servings that you are cooking in your pot, and then how much pasta, how much water you need, how much salt, and then it tells you the cook time at the very bottom. So I am cooking a full box of pasta. This actually makes 8 servings. There are 5 quarts of water in that pot over there. And I did actually put 1 tablespoon of salt in there before I started boiling my water, just to taste. I personally like my pasta al dente. You have al dente, which is 8 minutes, firm, which is 9 minutes, and tender, which is 10 minutes. I kind of like the pasta a little bit hard, that's just me, but my parents actually like it more on the firm side, so we're gonna go for a nice 9 minutes. While we wait for our pasta to be ready, I'd like to also just tell you that we are going to be adding some pre-cooked shrimp to our meal tonight. The reason why I am not showing you how to cook this is because my mom said it best. Learning to cook is like learning how to divide. You need to get your division facts down first before we can go into long division, or as I believe you all know it as Super 7 now. But we're starting small because growth is what we want, right? So growth mindset. Our timer is about to go off, which means our pasta is almost ready, but the ultimate way to understand if your pasta is ready or not is to taste it. So you're going to use a spoon that you have not used at all during this cooking challenge and blow on it because it's going to be very hot. I warned you. Muy bien. Delicioso. Perfecto. So, the last thing we do here is turn our stovetop off and go ahead and bring this boiling pot. Well, it's not boiling anymore, but it has very, very, very hot water in here. So you are going to need an adult to do this. Do not do this without your parents' help. 2 hands. We're going to take the thing I worked out today. Take your boiling pot over to the sink. Angle's not that great, but we're going to take our strainer, put it in the sink, and pour our pasta into the strainer. Some of you may know it as a colander or a colander. I'm going to be honest, I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly. I need a pronunciation key, so if you can find it before we go back to school, you will also be able to go to the treasure box. The pronunciation key for the word colander or calendar, not a calendar that we look at the dates, but a colander. Here, I'm going to spell the word out for you. Colander, colander. Find the pronunciation. Okay, so our pasta is strained. I like to pour it back into the pot. That is one thing that I knew how to do before cooking this meal tonight, is how to boil pasta. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now the moment you have been waiting for, plating your meal. So, I already have 1 serving of pasta here for us in a bowl. 3/4 of a cup is the serving. And all you want to do now is stir your Alfredo sauce around just 1 or 2 more times. Take about, this is where we kind of just have to eyeball it. We have to estimate. So we take our Alfredo, get some nice helpings of spinach and sun-dried tomatoes in there, mix it around. Top your dish with, I'd say 4 shrimp. Presentation is everything when it comes to learning to cook with Miss Rogers. And then once you are finished with plating, you just want to take a little sprinkle of parsley. Girls, the moment we have been waiting for. Sun-dried spinach and sun-dried tomato Alfredo with shrimp. Bon appetit. Well, boys and girls, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in to this e-learning experience here with me tonight for my first ever segment of Learning How to Cook with Miss Rogers. Please be on the lookout for an activity to follow after this video. There's about, as you can see, I've done some homework. I just watched through all the clips and have made some awesome questions to go along with our video that you're gonna have to go back to the video. Yes, go back to the video to find your video evidence. I bet you didn't see that one coming. To answer these questions. I just have to give a quick shout out to the YouTubers out there. OMG. I am exhausted, okay? I'm exhausted after this. This took the life out of me. Hopefully I'll get this video done tonight because I'm so excited to share it with you. I'm rambling now. I'm gonna stop, go ahead, get my notes together, and I'll see you next time on Learning to Cook with Miss Rogers. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Like, subscribe at Miss Rogers Munchkins. I miss you. I love you. Best work, first time, on time. Don't forget it. And I'll see you next time. This is really hard. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, this is a lot of pressure. Okay, so the first thing you are going to want to do is set the stove top. Normally when I'm making TikToks, like, it only takes one shot, but like, I'm a little nervous right now. I have to keep refilming. Okay, here I go again. Take like 800 just for the intro. So you can get... Oh, it's still recording.